Hi, this is Nate, and this is the Would You Like Fries with That Tech podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today, our guest is with us, Matthew Scherer. How you doing today, Matthew?
I'm doing great, Nate. How are you, buddy?
Doing well.
Yeah.
I've known Matt for several years now, and he's always been very passionate about restaurants and technology. He's worked in a number of different roles in restaurants and a number of different roles in technology. Tell us a little bit about those roles, Matt, and how you came to where you are in your career.
Sure. I got into restaurants very early, 16, 17, gas money for the car back then. So I started as a busser, dishwasher, worked my way up. I was GMs, bar managers, kitchen manager, service manager, pretty much every position inside of restaurants. And I kind of grew up in that time frame where computers were becoming a thing. So it was easy for me to kind of gravitate towards the fixing of a POS printer or setting up, a new printer on a network, or this Ethernet cord got unplugged. It was really easy for me to gravitate towards that. So any location I was at, I kind of became the pseudo IT guy, sort of. you know, hey, go fix this, go swap this out, whatever the case may be, and I got comfortable with it. Um, so then when I got out of restaurants, eventually when I started having my family, that's when I got into the telecom world and did that. Then also sold point of sale and was there for the installs, and I just got comfortable with it, learned as much as I could from very smart people, and that just kind of built up to my level at this point.
So, what is that right now? What do you offer? What do you do right now for the restaurant industry?
So I basically, with performance partners, our job is to be a consultant for the restaurants to try to look at the overall goals of what they're trying to accomplish, but also look at what their pain points are and try to offer solutions for them. So, again, with my background of running multi-million dollar restaurants on a daily basis, that could be from, how often do you change your fryer oil and how do you clean them to make them more proficient, to limit your food cost or to lower your food cost with better product and less waste, all the way up to, hey, what's the difference between security cameras and a security system? Do you want to watch the people breaking into your restaurant, or do you want to have it call the police department so that way they can come catch the people? To what does online ordering and, you know, basis points for credit card processing, what does all that look like, and what does that do to your bottom line and to your customer experience? That's basically what we bring to the table, an all encompass, you know, really strong background of how does all of that affect your bottom line, your profit, and how you're going to be able to move your restaurant forward.
Yeah, in prepping for today's episode, you put a couple of interesting responses. You said I sent out a questionnaire for you to fill out, and you put in some common challenges that restaurant owners face. Uh, it sounds like restaurant owners, you put labor costs, lack of staff, food waste, inconsistent sales, outdated technology. Restaurant owners have a lot to worry about, a lot to think about. If there was one big thing, like what should you fix first? Because there sounds like there's a lot of things to fix when it comes to a restaurant. What's the first thing that a restaurant should probably fix?
That's a great question. I tend to, when you're talking with people, they're always like, we need more sales, we need more sales, we need more sales, we need to do marketing, we need to do this. Sales and marketing definitely fixes a lot of your, small little issues of like dropping your food costs simply like just a little bit because you can cover up things by sales. But if you can't fix your four walls, is how I said it, then you're not going to be ready for the influx in sales. So that's from like a world height view. That's kind of my point. Like, you got to fix your four walls first. So in terms of that, gosh, it's hard to decide what would be the most
Does that
important.
mean like physical building, or what does four walls mean?
Four walls is don't go out trying to search for more sales and put money into marketing when you're not ready to take care of the customer inside your four walls.
Okay.
So you need to make sure you have the right staff and people that are around you. You need to make sure you have a great product. You need to make sure that your facility is up to par, where your faucets aren't leaking in the bathroom when somebody goes to wash their hands, or one of the urinals aren't working, or the like a third of your light bulbs are out because you're not changing your light bulbs and you just don't want to go to the store and buy them. Like, if you're not going to, put a good face out there for your customers to have a good experience when they're in there, no amount of marketing, no amount of sales pushes, no amount of outside advertising is going to fix any of those problems. It's just, crumpling up $100 bill and setting it on fire. It's not going to do anything for you.
So are there any trends upcoming or right now that are shaping the restaurant industry that you really think that maybe an up and coming restaurant owner should think about?
Again, that's a very powerful question. I come from, 20 some odd years of experience with, casual upper fine, not fine dining, but casual sit down restaurants. So having that server experience is very, very important to me. And so I guess I have two sides of it. One is with the server experience, handhelds are definitely one of the main attractions that restaurants are finding. If implemented properly, handhelds could help your lack of labor force, because with the product in your hand, you can take care of more tables, be more efficient, and handle a larger section, where back in the day it used to be 3 or 4 table sections. Now these servers are required to handle 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 tables at one time. The handheld really makes that more efficient for the server and the restaurant to handle it. Now, on the flip side, where labor force is becoming very difficult, I'm seeing restaurants going to what they're calling a non-tipped environment, meaning you are ordering at a kiosk or in front of somebody taking your order at a POS point of sale system at a tabletop, and then they are giving you a number or a pager, so that way when your food is ready, you either come up and pick it up, or they know what table to come to and they deliver it to you. And so you're going up to the counter to get refills. You're going to these brew walls where you can pour your own beer, liquor, wine, beverages, and so it's removing the tipped part of the experience. So you as a consumer have to take a lot of responsibility on getting your own stuff, but it allows the business owner to really focus on the food side and the product quality side, as opposed to worrying about having these tipped employees on. And so that's becoming a new concept over the last 10 years or so that people are going to. So it just kind of decide, you have to decide what you want. Do you want that in person at the table, I'm getting everything for you experience? Or do you have a setup to remove that, but still give a great experience for your customer? So you, as the entrepreneur, are going to have to decide what direction you want to go.
Do you have any like stories of success of transitions in a restaurant you've experienced?
Absolutely. Okay. So there was a restaurant that I worked at, or I was involved with, that they had a very small inside what's the word? Sorry, blanking on the word here. Footprint. But then they had a very large patio. So for them in the summertime, their amount of space to take care of customers almost doubled for them. So they had to be ready for that. So their seasonality was big for them and they had to be prepared. So we introduced handhelds for them. When people are building restaurants, it's hard to figure out what is the best way to put a patio, because you're looking at where are the streets driving. You don't want to be close to the busy street. Where is this? What's the view going to be look like? Well, what tends to happen is not what's the proximity to the kitchen or to the bar. So what happens? Your kitchen, and then your bar, and then your dining room, and then you have a door that leads to the patio. So when the summer comes and you've doubled your floor space, now your servers have to take, an extra 45, 60 steps, maybe an extra minute to do everything of going back from the patio to the bar, back to the patio to the kitchen, back to the patio to the bar. And so you have to find ways to be proficient. So that's where handhelds come into play, where you can, greet a table, and in your traditional setting of taking care of the customer, hi, my name is Matt. What can I get started for you tonight? I'd like a Coke. I'd like this. So then you're going back, getting in the drinks, and then coming back to the table. And then, what appetizers are we starting with? Okay, well then let me take your order, go back to the POS, put the order in, and then go about my business. Where now I know time is of the essence. So I have the device in my hand. So, okay, you want 2 tall beers? Great. Type it into the tablet or the device that we provide you. It's working at the bar while you're, oh, by the way, folks, are we starting with any appetizers tonight? And then you can go ahead and put in the potato skins right there before you even left the table. So now you're bridging that time frame gap for the customer between, waiting 3 or 4 minutes for my drink and then another 10 minutes for my appetizer. So now you're at 15 minutes where you can deliver the drink in 4 minutes, and then 2 minutes later, the appetizer will show up because you were able to place that order while you were there. And then it just bridges that gap and then speeds up your table turns and all that kind of stuff. So it really does excel those type of situations. They're not for everybody,
Well, I
doesn't
had
fit
a
for everyone. But
recent dining experience, actually. I took my wife out for her birthday, and there was one of those similar restaurants, very small indoor space. We love it in the winter, but huge patio in the summer. And they have 2 point of sale systems. And literally, there would be a line behind the systems of servers trying to get stuff entered in, and they could barely keep up because a little place that normally would say 20 tables on an average winter night was turning about 80 to 100 tables. So they had the staffing, but they couldn't seem to keep up because they were having to wait in line to just put the orders in on the computer. It was crazy to me. I hadn't seen anything quite like that in the past. And I think handhelds would do an amazing thing in a situation like that.
exactly, you're exactly right. Um, Cost in doing business is always a big thing, but you have to value the speed of service over the cost of a piece of a machine. You have to be able to do that math and figure out, okay, I probably need 1 terminal for every 2 servers that are on the floor. So therefore, if I have 10 servers in a summer, then I need 5 machines. Where if I only have 2 servers in the winter, I only need 1 machine. So that's where those handhelds are, a little less pricey. You're able to turn them on and off. You can store them away. Plus, they actually work for outside events. So if you do things at a slower time of the year where you're going to do, a chamber event or something like that where you are accepting payments, you can actually work on taking those mobily and then utilizing them so they're not just paperweights in the downtime of your business. So there's a lot of great ideas out there to make things justified for why you have them, even if you don't use them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah. So you mentioned, and this is more, I'm going to pose this more as a question, on menus. Would you say increase your menu or decrease your menu? I've seen trends both ways.
100% decrease. You should never increase your menu. In terms of size, I believe is what you're asking. Like,
yeah, so you say the model of have 2 burgers instead of 15 on the menu is better than having, burgers, tacos, pizza. Do you think that slows down the ordering time as well for the client?
100%. Yep, definitely. And where it sounds simple, to go from, why can't you have 10 options for the burger? Like, why not? Okay. Well, like I understand going from 10 to 6 might not be a big change, but those four burgers in total for each of them probably have four different ingredients each that are not on anything else on your menu. So now you're looking at 16 items that you have to prep, you have to have on your shelves, you have to have space for them, you have to keep track of product mix, like are you rotating them, are you using them, are you cleaning containers every single day when you're flipping your pans like you're supposed to, and how much of that waste is going down the drain. So it might sound great to have those four extra options, like I have a regular that loves this one. Well, if your regular is only coming in once every 3 weeks and they're the only one ordering it, your regular needs to find something else or find a way to make him happy where, they give you a heads up when, I don't know, think outside the box. Like, they're going to come in every Tuesday, then go to the store and buy something on Monday. I don't know. But it's just not cost protected. Doesn't make sense.
So what do you think the future is for dining and hospitality?
Oh, great question. I don't think the servers are going to ever go away. I'm going to do my part to keep that from happening. I don't want to lose that aspects of going out and having a dinner. So we need to keep the servers. We need to keep that kind of stuff there. We just have to be better at controlling cost and those kind of things. And so by doing that, you need smaller footprints. You don't need these 500-person restaurants. You need smaller footprints, less staffing, less products, and then just get really, really good at it. And then when you're really, really good at it, enjoy the fact that you're on a half-hour wait on a Friday. Don't freak out and think, well, a wait's going to drive people away. I go to Texas Roadhouse all the time. That's on hour, 15-minute waits. People will wait if they're going to get a great experience, if they know that the food is going to be good. And so don't freak out. Oh, I have to add more tables. I have to add, no. Enjoy the fact that you're busy. Like, just enjoy it. Have a good host staff who can go and take care of these people while they're waiting and offer samples or something. Think outside the box other than just, how do I cram these people in here so they don't wait? That's not the right idea.
Thinking futuristically, what's your thoughts on these robotic kitchens, robotic servers? Do you think that's going to become more of a thing, or is that more of just like a cool thing to look at?
I think it will become a thing, and I don't ever see it going away. But I could see it being more in like the fast paced quick service places. Like to me, that's great stuff for a McDonald's, a Wendy's, like those fast server places where the menus are pretty simple, and there's not a lot of what your fries are. They're always going to be and your sit down restaurants where you can get fries loaded, you can get them with poutine or whatever the case may be. I just don't see where it's going to like take over and be like the next trend that you're going to see everywhere. So I don't see that part of technology where, I have been to places where they have the robo bussers, where the employee busses the table, puts it in a bus tub on top of this robot, and then he is programmed to go back to the kitchen to drop it off. Like, I could see those kind of auxiliary things supporting the staff and using AI technology and GPS mobile mapping stuff in the restaurants to try to take certain steps off of the customer, but removing the server, removing, that personal aspect of it, I just don't see that ever going away. And I hope I don't.
So what are some key considerations restaurant owners should keep in mind when they're like looking at a new service provider, looking to change to a new service provider, whether it's, the beer tap company to the CO2 company to a big technology purpose? What should they keep in mind?
They should keep in mind that you need to picture the worst case scenario when something happens, and that should drive your decision making. And what I mean by that is we've mentioned cost on this podcast multiple times, where cost is very, very important. But what does, saving dollars really mean to you when it's 7:30 at night and your credit cards aren't accepting. What's the process of getting that fixed? Is it worth calling an 800 number to somebody in a completely different state, somebody to a completely different country, just because you wanted to save a couple bucks at the front end in terms of your technology cost? Or would you like to know that, hey, you're going to call Frank at the local IT company, down the street at 7:45 on a Saturday, and he's going to answer, and he's going to pick up the phone, and he's going to be like, hey, Matt, what do you need? Okay, this isn't working. Let's see if we can figure it out. And by the way, I'm going to hang up with you, but I'm working on this. I will call you when I have it fixed. As opposed to speaking to somebody who, let's be honest, you might not understand everything that they're saying. And then they're going to give you this confirmation number, and then it's going to be like, we'll call you at some point. Good luck with the rest of your shift. So those are the values that people need to look at of what's your local support like? What's going to happen when things don't go right? Are you going to be able to speak to somebody locally? What's going to happen there? And make sure you're asking questions to get these companies to think outside the box, so that way they're not just being cookie cutter with you, because if that's the feeling you're getting, they're not going to be a very good benefit for you, because they're going to treat your restaurant just like, Joe's Crab Shack down the street, or a burger joint that doesn't sell anything like you sell. And so like you're just not going to get the great customer service out of that.
Those are great points. I appreciate that, Matt. Okay, a couple rapid fire questions here. Go-to meal for you?
I can eat pizza 5 days a week.
Okay. Favorite fine dining meal?
Favorite fine dining meal. I like roasted Brussels sprouts with honey on it for an appetizer. And I enjoy seared ahi tuna, or a really big, nice steak.
All right. Okay. And then final question, best road snack?
Best road snack. Oh man. Well, I'm a Reese fiend. Like, I can eat chocolate Reese's all day, every day. That's not really a snack. So my snack would just be simple Doritos.
All right.
Like I'm a Dorito or a Pringle type guy.
Original Doritos, or do you get into like ranch and hot Doritos or something like that?
So like original or Cool Ranch. I do like those. Pringles.
I like the barbecue Doritos myself. Those barbecue? Are a little harder to find, but when I do find them, they're pretty good. So.
I don't think I've ever seen barbecue Doritos.
Yeah, there's a barbecue style, and then there's those super hot ones, but I can't do that on the road because then you got to drink lots of water, and that's disastrous.
Have you gotten into the Takis?
I just kind of started in that Taki world. I'm a little unsure.
My son loves those things. Absolutely loves them. I just don't like the dust. It gets all over your finger. They're very messy. That's the only problem. Like, I think the
kind of like a good. Cheeto.
Yeah. Even worse than a Cheeto, because you can still be like, that dust gets all over everything. So that's my only downside to Takis.
Somebody gave us a whole case of Takis. I don't know. I'm Takied out right now. So, all right, Matt, with Performance Partners, tell people where they can learn more about you, get in touch with you. What's the best way?
Yeah, I have a Facebook page, Performance Partners. You can go there. That's the best way to reach me, performancepartners800@gmail.com, because our motto here is friends don't let friends call the 800 number. So I'm here to push you locally, get you in touch with somebody, and who actually cares about what we're doing and what you're doing. And so that's the goal for us.
All right. Thanks for joining us today, Matt. Look forward to chatting again with you sometime, and look forward to the next episodes of Would You Like Fries with That Tech? Join us on the next episode. Thank you.
Thanks, Nate. Appreciate you having me.